A potentially dangerous young man is wanted by Atlanta police after an armed robbery and carjacking. Authorities say the victim met this suspect that you see here on your screen through an online marketplace to sell a computer. They met up at Forest Park Road on July 1st, and officers say the man pulled a gun and took the victim's car. If you recognize this person, contact Atlanta police.